I'm losing it today. -1 slash. With me? No. I did think about you last night because I was packaging some up, but then I forgot I was late this morning. That's right. I was just whipping them out of my pocket. They wouldn't last, I'm sure. GCF here. 8x. What's left? Middle sign, GCF. What's left? And it looks like Haney already picked up the pattern here. This is a special pattern one. There's 2 special patterns. We got bogged down in perfect square trinomial yesterday and didn't get to this one. But if you do recognize the pattern, you certainly may use it and cut out all the middle junk. Yeah. 18? Okay, give me the equation for 18, or the expression. 20c what? Squared. GCF? 5. What's left? Okay, so if you don't know the pattern, this might have been a little difficult for you, but well, that's as far as y'all can get right now on that one. I'm sorry. That's how far you can get on this one. I'm sorry. After today, you'll be able to get a little further. The answer is, and I'll just go ahead and put this in your notes, okay? This is called, because this is the easiest one to do. This is called difference of 2 squares. And what a difference of 2 squares is exactly what, yeah. It's okay. This building has second lunch. Yeah. But it's, well, yeah, like, but, okay, so yes, but then your class is the lunch that class has is based on their location. So, like, today is 4th block, so if your 4th block is in this building, you have second lunch. If your 4th block is in that building, you have first lunch. Yes. First lunch. Y'all know subtraction. That's the key to this one. Yeah. Yes. That's right. The key here is difference. That means I'm subtracting, and both of them have to be perfect squares. Remember what a perfect square means? It's just multiplied by itself. So it may look something like this, a squared minus b squared. If that happens, and you find yourself in that situation, it is a very easy factor. It factors as the square root of the first minus the square root of the second, and then you do the same thing, but you change the sign. Do you see that this is a difference of 2 squares, right? They're both perfect squares. There's a minus in the middle. So to factor it, I would do the square root of the first. What times itself twice gives you 4c squared? 2c minus, what times itself 2 times gives you 90 squared? 3d. Oh, okay. And then you do the same thing with a plus in the middle. Say again. Why would you do a plus instead of minus? It's just the way it factors. If you go back, we factored it the long way here. See, it factors out with different signs. It'll work every time. If you FOIL that back out, it'll get you there. Other questions from your homework? Y'all good? I can, and not only can I, but I will. What is it? Let's use our new pattern. Look, do you recognize it? No, it's a difference of 2 squares. It's a difference of 2 squares because it's a minus sign, and they're both perfect squares. So if that's the case, which it is here, k minus 5, done. But do you see, I can still group it. I can still throw that 0k in the middle and slash it and have a lot, but it'll happen. Look back at number 17 we did. That we did that one the long way, but we still came back to 8x minus 1, 8x plus 1. What else? Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what I did. Square root of both of them. Anything else? No, not all of it. That's some of it. That's about a quarter of what we're doing today. Number 8, sure. Can you tell me what it is? No GCF here. First and last together gives me negative 85n squared. What multiplies to negative 85 but adds to 12? 17 and 5, is that what y'all said? I don't know. 17 and negative 5. There you go. That works. Throw it in there. I'm going to throw this one in first because I like to do my negative first. That way I don't have to worry about changing signs, but you can do it however you'd like. Minus 5n. Plus, today's going to be all about shortcuts. I'm going to show you a shortcut for this one too. Slash it. What's the GCF? What's left? GCF. Ooh, 17. A July moon. It would still work. Your factors would be switched in the end, which is fine because multiplication is commutative. You're not that person, and I would love to do number 9. While I'm here on this one's an easy one. This is one now. If you're still not grasping factoring all the way, close your ears just a second. You won't want to hear this because you'll try to do it all the time. But if this only works, remember I told you I'm going to teach you that general form that always works. You can factor anything with it, but then I'll sprinkle in some little shortcuts here and there. This one, because the leading coefficient is 1, right? So it looks like there's not a coefficient in front, right? This is the only time that works. If that's true, then these two numbers are always going to be what goes in here. I'm waiting on, I hear a couple going, oh, if you know how to do that, if you can factor it, if it's a 1 in front, no, you can shortcut it. Do y'all see that? That works every time there's no leading coefficient. If there is a leading coefficient, though, you're going to have to group it. There's no other way to do it. But I'm hesitant. I don't ever teach it that way initially because then you try to do that every single time, and it only works 33% of the time. All right. Which other one did you say, Emma? Can you give it to me? 60. 6E. No, I can't. I'm getting old. Okay. GCF. 6. P squared minus 4P plus 4. Ooh. Anybody see it? How do you know it's a perfect square trinomial? What must happen? All right, this is positive. This is a perfect square, and this is a perfect square. You're exactly right. And what else? It dances. It does the square dance. P times 2 is 2p doubled is 2p doubled is Miguel. If you get that wrong on your test, blame Sully. So this factors as square root of the first sign, the square root of the last squared. You don't like that one? I'm sorry. You could also, you don't have to do that. You could also, so 3 ways to do this one. That's way number 1. Way number 2, I see a 1 that is the leading coefficient, which means I could do that little shortcut we just talked about. What multiplies to 4 but adds to negative 4? So 4p squared, it would be negative 2 and negative 2. So that means that this would be p minus 2, p minus 2. Same thing. Or you could go all the way back to the very first way we talked about factoring. And it still works because grouping will always work for you. So when in doubt, group it and you'll be able to. Again, it's negative 2p and negative 2p. Slash it. GCF of the first 2 would be p. It leaves me with p minus 2. I have to keep the middle sign, but because the middle's minus, it changes the last one. So I end up with 6, p minus 2, minus 2. And it's still, yes, so the square dance, how to tell. Perfect square trinomial. So this is getting a little into notes and a little back from yesterday. I have, if the 2 ends are perfect squares, this could be a plus or a minus. You take the square root of both ends, right? So that would be A and B. You multiply them together and then double them, and it has to get what's in the middle. So we say square, square, multiply, and double. Remember, if that happens, and this gets confusing, yeah. Yeah, you can give it to me and I'll do it. That's how it factors. That plus or minus is whatever that first sign is. And we'll recap these special patterns in just a sec. All right, give me the problem. We don't know what number. She forgot to write the numbers on it. 12, it's number 12. All right, I don't have a GCF here. What is 9 times 7? 63. What multiplies to 63? X squared, but adds to 24. What is it? 21 and 3. I cannot shortcut this one because there is, not that, there is a 9 in front. It's not a 1. Nothing is perfect squares on the ends. I just have to go with it. Slash GCF of the first 2. 3x. What's left? Middle sign stays. GCF of the last 2. No. What's left? Of course, itself. So this factors as 3x plus 7. 3x plus 7. What else? Are we good? Yes. Yes, if you would like to. Can you give it to me, the equation? We'll take a 3 out first. That pops out to me as a GCF. So that leaves me with a squared minus a minus 12. What multiplies to negative 12a squared but adds to negative 1a? Negative 4a and 3a, exactly. I could shortcut this one because at this point I have a 1 in front here. I will walk through it though. Grouping. Minus 4a plus 3a minus 12. GCF of the first two. A. What's left? Middle sign. GCF of the last two. There you go. Those factors are the same, which is what I want. So I have a minus 4, a plus 3, which also checks back to my two factors here. Going once. All. We probably have done them all now. If not, close to it. All right, let's take a break before we come back together and do special patterns and solving. Okay. Solve. Or solve by factoring. That's what we should say. We should call it that instead. Solve what? I know. Did you see my announcement? I even put a little sloth on there. Did y'all see it? Thank you. Well, Haney, let me just say, because you had already submitted in the wrong one, I couldn't delete it. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't delete it. I kept trying to like, no, error. And I was like, what in the world? It took me forever. So then I posted the announcement, and then I saw that you had already submitted. I was like, that's why I couldn't delete it. So I just left it. Yeah, I had the guide posted. All right. Okay, so your work makes me want to throw something against the wall. What? Who does that? Yeah, but you go to the next line for the next step, and then read.
Message is clear.
When we get, you're gonna lose yourself when we get to some of these difficult problems. How long have you been doing that?
If it's a longer problem,
Let me show you. Look how beautiful. Look how beautiful. You can tell what each problem is. The steps follow. It's all on one single line, and the steps separated by a comma. A comma. This is not English class.
why not? Comma is the separation of two things.
It's all on one line. So I'm checking homework yesterday, and I was going. It's literally. Well, this, yeah. Okay, solving by factoring. Before we solve by factoring, let's recap our special patterns. Recap. At least what? That's effort in trying to do as little as possible, I think. Well, I give you the answer, so. No, I don't think no. I didn't get the last night one. Oh, okay. Well, I would have it if you asked. I try to all the time. Okay, recap special patterns. We have two. What's that? Perfect square trinomial. I'm going to give you the formula. Trinomial. Perfect square trinomial can look like this. Or like this. And to factor it, it will be, this is what we did at the beginning of class, even today. Just as a recap. There's your perfect square trinomial. Yes? Everybody okay there? Yeah. Effort. That's okay. That's all right. Now, if I took it up after we went over it, I would grade it more on accuracy, but it's just if you tried it, then we go over it. All right, the second one, what's it called? We just learned this one. Difference of two squares. Has to have a minus sign in the middle. Please know that if this was a squared plus b squared, it does not factor. A squared plus b squared is CBF. A lot of letters, right? What does that mean? A squared plus b squared is CBF. Cannot be factored. A squared plus b squared cannot be factored. But b squared CBF. It can't be factored. So it's yes, it's a minus b, a plus b. Two. My z's have a line through them so you can tell the difference. 2 z. Because my 2's and z's look so similar. When I first started teaching, nobody could tell the difference, and I just. Now, Rosie, you see how fast I write though? And sometimes my 2's look like that. It just depends how fast I'm writing. Okay. Is everybody okay? Perfect square trinomial, I want you to start being able to recognize, but if you can't do that right offhand, it will come, or it never come by the time we get towards the end of this chapter. Difference of two squares is just easy and going to save you a lot of time. Okay? You recognize these patterns, you have a lot less work to show than everybody else. They should both still be grouped. All right, y'all ready to solve? The whole. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Why does it not matter? Why is it the same answer? There you go. Multiplication is commutative. It doesn't matter the order you do it in. So if you take the first one and multiply by the second, it doesn't matter. Okay. Let's solve. Y'all ready for this? The whole point, we're doing a lesson. Yeah. The whole point in factoring. Not the whole point, but a lot of the point. We're going to start easy. What happens if I ask you to solve this graph? There's two of them in there though. One of them's got an exponent. What the heck?
You have to so put everything over there. Square root of 9x.
Okay, so you're saying I would do. And then I'd take the square root. We're all in agreement that doesn't work, right? Okay, doesn't work. All right, Sonny, go ahead. Divide b by 2.
also supposed to be -1.
Is it my turn? Is it my turn now? I think what you are trying to do, I think that at some point you have been on Alex maybe have done some completing the square or something of the sort. And you're actually using a method there that would get you eventually to the right answer, but super hard. Okay. The point that I'm getting, not for me. I'm not a fan.
I didn't even know we had to do it.
Okay. The point that I'm getting to is you don't have, or you shouldn't, or maybe not that you shouldn't, but you probably do not have the resources needed in order to solve this just yet. So I want to walk you through something. Before I show you, and I'm coming right back to this, so it's okay that you have it wrote down. I want you to have it right now, written down. I want you to think about something with me for just a minute. Notice that this equation equals 0, right? What happens, let's say I take two unknown variables. I'll call them x and y. This does not relate to this problem. So two things, I don't know what they are, but what happens if I tell you that they multiply to 0? Has to be, right? There is no other way to get 0 unless one or both of them is 0. Does everybody agree? That is what we call the zero product property. Okay? Zero product property says if two things multiply to give you 0, one or both of them must be 0. Remember what a solution to an equation means. If I plug in the solution, it makes it true. If I put a 0 there, is my equation true? Yes, despite what y is, right? If I do this, am I still true? Yes. So both x equals 0 and y equals 0 are solutions to that equation. Do you agree with that? Okay. Where am I going with this? Does anybody see where I'm going with this? There's no multiply there, right? I'm adding terms. Do you agree? But we have spent 2 days writing quadratics like this as multiplication problems, right? Do you agree? Yes, say yes, because that's right. Yes. This is nothing more than a multiplication problem. Do you agree? Can I rewrite this as a multiplication problem? How? By factoring. What? Completing the square. Yeah. You forced a perfect square trinomial on the left side and then you factored and solved. Yes. Yeah. This is a hard one to do that because your b is not even. But look, that's okay. That's the end of the chat. Okay, so watch what happens. If I factor this, right? What multiplies to 20x squared but adds to 9x? This is an easy factor. 4x and 5x. The order does not matter. So I have x squared plus 4x plus 5x plus 20. If you shortcut this, that is quite all right. Because the leading coefficient is 1, you could just say x plus 4x plus 5. But we are going to long cut it. 5x plus 4. I have x plus 4 times x plus 5, because when there's no operation indicated in the middle like that, we know that means multiply, yeah? Okay. In between those two, this says parenthesis 1 times parenthesis 2 equals 0. Do you agree with that? Thing 1 times thing 2 equals 0. Therefore, by the zero product property, if this equals 0, it will make my equation true. Yes? And if this equals 0, it will make my equation true. Yes? Yes, I have two solutions to quadratic equations, or I can have up to two. X equals -4 and x equals -5. Two solutions, okay? So what did I do here and what all happened? Let me give you the steps it listed through. I really wanted you to get through it first, yeah. Don't do the comma because then that'll start to look like a coordinate point instead of solve like graph. If you want to do the x sub 1, x sub 2, that's fine. Yes, the sign split. The sign split from the backwards. That's exactly right. But we did solve. Be careful because remember, sometimes when you're factoring, this could be 3x plus 4, which would mean I'd have to subtract 4 and divide by 3 to solve it. I'm still solving a linear equation is what I'm getting to. I'll do one that's a little bit harder in just a second. I thought only one of them had it. Well, either one of them could equal 0 to make the equation true. Remember what solution means. Solution means if you plug that into the equation, it makes it true. So yes, either one of them would make it true, but it could be either one. So I have to list both of them. Okay. So what did we do here? To factor and solve a quadratic. Where am I going? Or to solve a quadratic. The entire rest of this chapter, by the way, the only thing we are doing is solving quadratics. We're doing different methods to get there. Because I might have a CBF problem, right? And then I can't factor and solve. So we're going to talk about ways to address that. But today it's just factoring. So to solve a quadratic by factoring. The very first thing that I have to do, and this one was already set up very nicely for me, but I need to make sure my equation equals 0. Zero product property cannot work if I don't equal 0 to start with, right? Are y'all okay? All right, make it equal 0. Step 2. And notice this one that we did, it already equals 0 whenever we started, right? Move the terms around. So maybe if it was something like exactly. So this would be 2x squared plus x minus 20. So make sure it equals 0. Now remember, it's always helpful if your leading coefficient is positive. Okay, if that x squared term is positive, so if you're trying to decide which side to move them on, move them to the side that keeps your first number positive. Does that make sense? You can't. Well, you can group it. You can. You just have to take the CCF negative one. Minimum amount of work I'd want you to show for this one is you could go from here. You could say x plus 4, x plus 5 equals 0, x equals -4, x equals -5. If you can get to that point, that's fine. Plus or minus 2? Yes. Not in factored form, but as a solution you could. So you could put x equals plus or minus 2, but don't do this. Because it's not actually plus or minus 2, it's actually plus and. You know what I'm saying? That says do one or the other. Okay, make it equal 0, number 1. Number dos. Factor. Once you have it factored, I've got these pieces that are multiplied together to give me 0, right? So my very last step is set each parenthesis, what's in parentheses, equal to 0, and solve individually. Now, if you got it here, yes, if it's one step, but I do want to see if you've got something like this, then I definitely want to see, say, well, 2x equals -4, so x equals -2. You don't have to show me like minus and this, but I do want to see your steps that you get there as you solve that. Trying to get you in good math habits, because by the time we get to calculus, you will lose points on your exam if you don't show those steps. And remember, your justification for math is always your work. That's your explanation of how you get from start to finish. Not good math. Your head might not work like my head. But you have to show how you got there. Somebody, here's what it should be. This is what I tell students. Someone who does not know what you're doing should be able to at least pick up your paper and follow your steps down. See what's going on. They should be able to tell how you got from here to here. Because I give you part credit for your work. So if your answer's wrong, you lose full credit. Plus, I can see what you. Yes, or that. All right, let's do some examples. Y'all ready? Thank you. Solve for y. That's all it's going to say. Solve for y. It might say solve by factoring. Right now, that's the only way you know to solve. So solve for y. This one hard. Khalil was sitting in it in first block, and I don't know why. So there, he probably did some notes. What you do? Oh no. I was just coming up with that. Yeah, no, don't do that. Anybody got the answer yet? Y'all want to do this one together? Okay. Oh, okay.
Yes. Oh.
Remember, you probably will have a pop quiz tomorrow. For some of us. That's okay. He'll probably have 2 on Tuesday then, because that'll be the other day for the. You don't get excused for absences though. Not on quizzes. I'll post the video to be. Y'all are the most. What am I trying to say?
Wait, who?
Okay. Sully, you tell us when you're done. Are you set? Well, jeez. I didn't want to either. Russell spilled a cup of tea at 12:30 last night by my bed, so I was up, and I was mad. I got mad. I was not very nice, and I said, "What do you need? A stinking sippy cup? You can't even keep your cup." Then I had to clean it up. So then I couldn't go back to sleep because I was mad. Okay, you ready now? As I'm telling my stories of why I didn't sleep last night. Okay, DCF. Okay, first of all, it already equals 0, right? So I don't have to worry about step 1. Step 2 is factor. So to factor, now I go to my factoring steps. No GCF. This is going to be a bit of a nasty factor, it looks like. But 120y squared, what multiplies to... Look at y'all. Hardest part of this one, in my opinion, right? So right, 30, 60, 90, 120, yeah. All right, so I have 6y squared minus 15y minus 8y. Does it matter if I wrote 8y before the 15y? No, it does not matter. Slash it. GCF of the first two. 3y. What's left? The middle sign. GCF of the last two. 4, that's right. What's left? Why is that minus? It says plus. It changes. That's right. The middle sign is negative. So this factors as 2y minus 5 times 3y. Come on. Minus 4 equals 0. So this one's 0. This one is 0. If you're wondering how much work you need to show, do let me show you. You need to add the 5 to both sides. You do not have to do the little thing. And I don't know who is teaching y'all this. Is that somebody at the middle school? I hate that. Some kind of line that goes through your equal sign. Separate what? Oh my goodness. Okay. Yay! There's one answer. There's one answer. You do not, what I was getting at is you do not have to do this for me. Y'all are past that, I hope, at this point in your math. But if you need to do it, no, if you need to do it because it helps you, that's fine. But what I'm saying is I'm not going to require that of you. I would hope that your Algebra 1 teacher did require that of you as she taught you to go through and solve the equation. But at this point, you do not have to show that unless you just want to because it helps you. 3y equals 4. Now divide by 3. Yeah. Yes, you need to at least show those steps that you're solving as you go. There you go. Look at you go. Look at there. Sully, did you get it right too? Oh, okay. Tell me what you think. Easy. Solve that for x. Well, wake it up, silly. No. I literally feel like I have Sailor in my class again. Yes, it is. I love Sailor. I hear it's impossible. How are you supposed to factor it? What the heck? CBF. It is not CBF. You have all the tools necessary to get 2 solutions for this.
Hey, not put on that.
You're about that far.
I got it.
In a minute, we're going to do the rest of the problem.
I will say it.
What shall I do?
Say it. 5x.
I think
GCF 5x.
we are all in agreement that we should take out a 5x, yes? Okay. If I take out 5x, what is left? And now everybody knows I'm done. I'm stuck.
No.
That's not it.
I am not. Can I do it?
Yes, Slade. Thank you. Why? Why are you doing? Go ahead, Slade. Tell them why we do that. Why do we do 5x equals 0? You can't factor anymore, and it's still multiplied, right? That's exactly. Absolutely. Beautiful. Okay, if Sully gets this one right, we'll stop. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sully and Sarian, it's on y'all too this time. I'm just picking.
Never do a hard problem.
Mm-hmm. It's not hard. You think it's hard? I don't think it's hard. It's not. It's not.
Hard. It's so hard that you should go here.
Don't be a waiter, y'all. No.
He will never be a door.
Don't worry, our groups change at the end of every unit. You can get a new group. Are you being aggravating, Miguel? Scream ants! I told you to keep them. Equals 3x squared plus 10x minus 8. Then move everything over there. Either or is fine. Yes. Did everybody at least get to this point? What should we do?
Every day, you take somebody and you put like a mark on all of them what we learned. If they get it right, or we do that like once a week. One time.
You moved it to the other side? Oh, you did -3. So you should have -3x plus 2. Yeah, that's fine. It'll still work. All right, if you are here with me, you are right. If you are not, you're wrong unless you're there. Now, when I apply the zero product property, this is multiplied, but is there anything I can plug in to make that happen? That's not going to impact my answer. Ignore it, okay? If that was a variable, yes, yeah. No, that's what we were just talking about. If you didn't, then this factor will be -3x plus 2 for you, and that's fine. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Because your answers in the end. That is correct. That's what we just said. There you go. 2/3 of -4 is what you should have gotten there.